So that's the famous Vaughan Music Academy? It's not what I was expecting. All the mechanisms on the square are working. I just need to deal with the piano now.
That doesn't work.
Looks locked. I can't go in. An automaton musician. Looks exactly like Hans's style, like at Bohogstadt.
It's all very humiliating for a sophisticated automaton like myself, you know.
I can't play. The engine is off.
Wait, Kate Walker, I am a highly evolved automaton.
Yes, and built to serve several purposes. Off you go now.
I see. You still haven't lost any of your irritating habits, Kate Walker.
Look on the bright side, Oscar. Thanks to you, the piano works now.
Well, hurry up and make use of it like the rector said. Is everything all right, Kate Walker?
It's the same. Exactly the same.
I beg your pardon?
The song I just played with the automatons, Vaughan's hymn, it's exactly the same melody as the one my mom's music box used to play. I used to listen to it all the time when I was a kid. We never did find out what it was.
And finding it today represents a major breakthrough because?
Because it means that there must be a link between Vaughan, my mom, and probably Dana, too. Dana, who looks so much like me.
Ah, a family connection then.
I don't know, but it's possible. And you can be sure as hell that I'm gonna find out as soon as I've picked up Dana's trail again. Come on, Oscar. Our dear Mahler owes us a file.
Did I already mention how humiliating I think this is?
Oh, you did, Oscar. You did.
Ah, thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed your concert so much. Now I can retire fulfilled.
Glad to have been of service. I believe you have a file for me.
Of course, of course. Here it is. Dana Rose, just like you asked.
Thanks. At last! Oh, no address here. Oh, this is definitely Dana's file. Now, the address. Dana's home address in 1937. A detached house, it seems. Number 20, Brücke der Nebel. The Bridge of Mists, huh?
Found what you were looking for?
I think so. Well, thank you. And goodbye.
No, thank you, Fraulein.
I say, this is a very unpleasant way of traveling, Kate Walker.
I know, Oscar. I promise I'll let you out as soon as possible, okay? Okay, Oscar. Now we have to find Dana's old house.
Do you recall the number, Kate Walker?
According to her registration form from the Music Academy, it was number 20. The bridge is exactly the same as it was back in the 1930s. Except that it's cleaner. It looks almost new, as if it had been renovated. There's number 20. Dana's old house. Souvenirs here look more upmarket than the ones I've seen elsewhere.
Guten Tag, Fräulein.
Made in Vaughan. All our gifts are handmade by craftsmen in Vaughan.
On holiday in the region, Fräulein?
Just passing through.
Well, welcome to my little gift shop. Frau Heigl at your service. I noticed you were looking at a souvenir, Fräulein.
Yes, you have a wonderful choice here, Frau Heigl. Your shop is beautiful.
Thank you. All our souvenirs here are pieces of craftsmanship, as we like to say. All by local craftsmen. Do you wish to buy the souvenir, Fräulein?
Well, I'm actually looking for someone, not something. Someone who used to live in this house, and I was wondering if you could help.
Well, there were quite a few owners before I bought the shop last autumn, so I can't really...
So her name was Dana Rose. She lived here before the war. I was hoping to find some kind of trace of her here, so I could continue my search.
I see. Well, I have heard of the Roses, but I can't say if there's anything left of them inside the house.
But don't you live here?
No, my husband and I live in the suburbs. You see, the bridge was sacked just before the war, during the pogrom against the Vagrants. Oh, truly awful events. And then the neighbourhood was bombed, just after the war during the liberation. And many of the houses were damaged, including this one. They were hastily renovated after the war, but they remain mostly derelict.
Well, it doesn't look like the house was damaged from what I can see. Your shop is charming, and so is the rest of the district.
Thank you. That's because after the initial renovation, the council financed major rehabilitation work on the facades. But if the truth be told, they left the proprietors to foot the bill for our interiors. That's why my husband and I had to spend all our savings so that the shop interior shows the same high standard that we demand of our suppliers.
That's a shame.
Yes, And if the council persists in refusing to help fund the renovation works, there won't be any residents left on the bridge, let alone independent quality stores like mine. There'll be nothing left but bland franchise stores, like the one further along the bridge or on the musical square.
You mentioned a pogrom against this neighborhood's vagrant community. Can you tell me more?
As much as anyone who knows anything about Wagen, I guess. It happened in 1938, if I recall correctly. A few months after Austria and Ostertal were annexed by the Brown Shadow.
What happened?
Well, the Brown Shadow organised riots against vagrants on false pretexts. It led to pogroms throughout all the annexed countries, including this house.
Were the Roses home when it all happened?
Like I said, Fraulein, I don't know, but I hope not.
So between the pogrom, the bombing, and the whole house being renovated, there's little chance of me finding any trace of the Roses.
It's not quite like that. To be honest, we didn't have the funds to renovate the rest of the house, so we used the upper floors for storing.
Really?
And now that you mention it, I do recall coming across old photographs from before the war, here and there in the house. The successive owners didn't want to throw them out, and I suppose they must have left them there.
Would you mind if I went upstairs to take a look? Unless you would kindly bring the photos down yourself.
Well, I can hardly leave the shop unattended while I go... I don't even know you, Fräulein.
I see. In that case, would you mind if I had a look upstairs myself?
Don't take it personally, Fraulein, but I don't know you enough to trust you. I'm very sorry. Now, if you'll excuse me, Fraulein, I have a customer.
I conjecture that you were inefficient in trying to persuade the shopkeeper, Kate Walker. How are you going to access the upper floors now?
I don't know, Oscar. By getting creative, I guess.
I conclude I can trust you on that score, Kate Walker?
Made in Wagen. More gifts. I would have preferred it to still be full of paintings, I think. It's right in Frau Heigel's line of vision, too. I'm gonna have to draw her away if I want to sneak through that service door to the upper floors.
Sorry, but you'll have to wait your turn, Fraulein.
Must have got it wrong.
Kate Walker, are you intentionally trying to damage me?
If I could manage to draw Frau Heigel this way, I'd be able to get through the service door and to the staircase without her noticing. But how?
No.
I was not conceived to perform this function, Kate Walker.
Made in Wagen. more gifts. I would have preferred it to still be full of paintings, I think.
Wrong one. Better try something else.
I doubt...
No.
It's no longer an art gallery at any rate. Looks like it's been turned into another shop for tourists. Souvenirs here look more upmarket than the ones I've seen elsewhere. Looks like the residents on the bridge are pretty mad at the town council.
That doesn't work.
Don't even think about it, Kate Walker. Haven't I already been damaged enough during your adventures?
A book about Vaughan's history during the war. Maybe it could be useful later. A book about Vaughan's history during the war. Maybe it could be useful later. Frau Heigl won't let me enter the service entrance. What should I do?
Remember Nick Canton, Kate Walker. What better than a diversion?
If I could manage to draw Frau Heigl this way, I'd be able to get through the service door and to the staircase without her noticing. But how? "20 Bridge of Mists." Dana's address in the 30s. The meager amount I've managed to save since I escaped from the mine. I'm so glad he's back.
I'm counting on you to transplant my mechanical heart as soon as we come across an XZ-2000 automaton.
Made in Vaughan.
Impossible. Wrong one. No, I don't think so.
No, Kate Walker, I am sorry, but there is nothing I can do for you here.
Must have got it wrong. Better try something else. That doesn't work.
All our gifts are handmade by craftsmen in Vagen. It's right in Frau Heigel's line of vision, too. I'm gonna have to draw her away. More gifts. I would have preferred it to still be full of paintings, I think. So this is where Dana grew up. I wonder if she'd recognize the town of her childhood today. I think she would. That is, if she's still alive. The musical square looks like it's turned into a tourist trap, whereas in the Bridge District, it seems like time stood still. It's quite eerie, really. Like if the neighborhood were artificially frozen in time. A book about Vaughan's history during the war. Maybe it could be useful later. Protests in the neighborhood and a big storm coming tonight. I sure wouldn't want to be in the mayor's shoes right now. Anyway, I'd better focus back on Dana. In loving memory of all those who lost their lives that terrible night. Some of the names are covered up with dirt. How could I clean it?
No.
Some of the names are covered up with dirt. How could I clean it? Can't leave now. There are still things to do here.
Excuse me, I must just serve the gentleman.
That's a great idea, Oscar. But how do you create a diversion?
That Frau Hegel seems to care a great deal about the quality of the products in her shop. Wouldn't it look great if we added, let's say, an exotic touch?
Made in Vaughan.
No, I don't think so.
It won't work.
Tell me, Oscar, do you know where I can find that exotic touch?
I think I saw some poor quality souvenirs that you can get in a dispenser on the bridge.
I need to find something to distract Frau Heigl.
You can use the vending machine near the souvenir shop, the one near the tramway stairway.
What's that awful noise? Excuse me, sir. Oh, there it is. How awful. That certainly doesn't belong in my shop. We don't sell such cheap and tacky items.
Great. I don't think Frau Heigel's noticed a thing.
Why don't you try to locate Diana Rose's room, Kate Walker? Then you can look for more clues about her.
Good idea. Let's just hope Frau Heigel won't come up. This photo shows the house partially destroyed. Must have been taken after the bombing that preceded the liberation of Wagen. This is where Frau Heigel must take her breaks. In remembrance of the eternal bond between the Roses and the Zimmers. Signed, Adam Z. It's dark in here. Hardly surprising with those windows boarded up. More stock for the shop. Nothing of interest in here. A double bed, plenty of space. Must have been Dana's parents' bedroom. So where's Dana's room then? The number of rooms don't add up.
Just what I needed.
A family portrait. That must be Dana with her parents. It's been bricked up, most likely during the post-war renovation works Frau Heigl spoke of. It's been bricked up, most likely during the post-war renovation works Frau Heigl spoke of.